Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Tackle Shop Live.
Sunny day, right there you took my breath away. Young and pretty, was it just a dream? The next
What up,
day,
there, Patrick Fahey?
You came over and you fell into
Don Iovino Splash It hooks for the small one is a size 6. Splash It 2 is a size 4. Or a size 5, as George likes to use. Tim McSee's in the house. How are you, Tim? Yeah, buddy. What's going on, Patrick Kingry? Chris Bettinger's here. Absolutely. Love this too, baby. Love it. Love doing Tackle Shop Live. TSL is in the house. Jeremy Macbeth, East Stacks Fishing. Jim Saban. What's up, Jim? Yeah, you better believe it, baby. That's the way we roll, East Stacks. LP Bass, Scott Shope. Hey, Scott, how are you doing? I'm coming up your way this weekend. I don't know if I'm going on a lake, probably a Juniata. Michael Bradley, Robert Murray, Timothy Humble. What's up, man? Jay Sandberg, good evening to you, my friend. David Schottelmeyer, how are you, pal? Good to see you, man. Ronald Kennard, as always, buddy, always. Robert Mills is here. Ed Ranowski, how are you, Ed? Mike Hayer, how are you, Mike Hayer? Always good to see you, pal. Yes, sir. Alvin Valentin. Grimy Fishing, Warren Guttrell, Johnny Kopp, Miles McKenna. How are you, Miles? Yeah, man. Matthew Weimer, how you doing, buddy? Gio Miller, Alvin, yeah, you better believe it. Hello to you too, pal. Mike Barr's in the house. Little Rich. Yeah, and the Canadians snuck in. Yeah, I tell you, the weather's beautiful. I mean, it's September starting to show its face a little bit, and fall is inching in ever closer, which is our topic tonight, is the fall transition, the late summer fall transition, and how tough it can be. And we're going to go over some things with that. Conway, how are you doing, pal? Good to see you this week, bud. Nice having you stop in. Kenny Hodgins is here. Paul, how are you doing, bud? Nick Cool, Ray Cruz. Ray, what's up, buddy? Haven't seen you. Grimy Fishing. Man, we got a whole bunch of guys here. It's always great to see everybody here on Tackle Shop Live. We come at you every Thursday night at 7 o'clock, and we just love talking fishing, talking tackle, talking technique, whatever it is. We just love to get into it. Nick, we're having a little bit of a derby coming up here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The old Susquehanna River Classic Kayak Tournament is scheduled for September 20th, and we are filling up quick, and it is a great event. And we got to thank our sponsors, 13 Fishing, Rapala, for their great interest in our customers and in this sport and in the kayaking, and taking a great big interest in that. And they are sponsoring the event with a free rod with the entry, which is really cool. The entry is $150, and you're going to get a $100 rod, the 13 Fishing Oath Series rod. We've been stacking them up in the back. There's tons of them here. And every entry gets a free rod, and it is going to be part of your deal, man. I mean, it's like you go fishing, Nick, you already won a $100 rod, buddy.
It's hard to believe.
It is. It's a great deal, and that's what I like about it. So it's all about getting new blood into this sport, new people, and everybody's going to be a winner on this tournament. Everybody that registers is going to get a rod. They're going to be a winner of that rod. So this is a great event. If you're thinking about it, you're on the fence, you're on the edge. I don't know if I want to fish a tournament. I don't know if I'm good enough. This is the one to test your skills and see what you got in you, and see how it is, and see how much fun it really is. Whether you win, lose, or draw, it is a blast, and we are going to have a blast. We picked up another sponsor for our registration party that we're going to have here on Friday night. Starting 4-ish, I think, around 4, we're going to get things going, and that's going to be pretty cool, man. We're gonna help everybody out, answer all kinds of questions. Then at 6 o'clock, we're going to have a captain's meeting where we're going to discuss all the rules and lay down the law and get you guys all ready to go for the great big tournament on Saturday. So we'll have some drinks. We'll have, I don't know, maybe some food. I don't know what we're all going to get into, but I know another thing, we're going to have some great door prizes we're going to give away during that registration party. And that is brought to you by our new sponsor, New Holland Auto Group here in central Pennsylvania. One of the great dealership of cars in here in central Pennsylvania. Great guys, all, a bunch of fishermen in that group of dealerships. And they called us up and they said, man, we like it. We want to do something. What do you got available? What can we do? And I mentioned the registration party, and they were like, yeah, we're all in, whatever it takes. We want to have a nice party for everybody and have a nice event. So thank you so much to New Holland Auto Group. You can see their information online here. Check them out. When you have a kayak, nothing like throwing it into a bed of a pickup truck makes it real easy. Instead of trying to lift it up on the top of a van or on top of a car, man, you could blow a groin that way, Nick. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how these guys do it.
I don't know, but they do it. I'm telling you,
they do it, but
they're getting more and more weight on them things every year.
I think it'd be a hell of a lot easier to throw it in the back of a Ford pickup truck, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying?
So too, I would.
Yeah, and the folks over there at New Holland Auto Group, they will take care of you, and they will get you set up in a vehicle. So check them out. They are great people. They are ready to wheel and deal, and they are excited to meet a bunch of you guys at the registration party. So thank you to them, New Holland Auto Group, and thank you to Rapala 13 Fishing for their great sponsorship and what they're doing for us and for our customers and you guys, the sport of kayaking. So show them some love. They're one of the biggest tackle dealers in the world, and they manufacture great product lines, with everything Rapala, and now with the ownership of 13 Fishing, you're going to see some great things out of them with 13 Fishing and what they're going to be doing here in the future. And they locked down Dustin Connell for their, as their main sponsor, as their main angler for 13 Fishing. So, he's not going to fish junk. He's going to tell them what he likes to see, and that's what they're going to produce. So that's pretty cool. We're excited about it. So September 20th, don't mess around. Get involved now. Sign up right now, $150, and you'll get a free rod at registration. And I'm telling you, guys are waiting. They're waiting, and they're going to be lost because 150, we cut it off. So anybody listening, make sure you sign up now and make sure you get yourself into this great event. And Nick, first place, $10,000.
That is
first place
phenomenal.
Is $10,000. We're paying out $18,000 total. And, so we're going to pay down pretty far, down in the field. And, you get a check. That's a big deal, because you're fishing against everybody. Everybody's coming. So it's going to be exciting.
There's not too many kayak tournaments that pay out better than that.
No, this is it. This is the one. This is the one you want to get in. And we are excited about it. Big time. So there you have it. Coming up. Also, want to tell everybody, this weekend, the great holiday, the Labor Day weekend holiday is upon us, and we are going to have a big sale here at the shop. And we do, the Labor Day is it's our holiday. It's the workforce holiday. It's the people who run this country, and really keep it moving. It's our holiday, and to celebrate it, we are going to have a great big sale here. 2 days in the shop here, Friday and Saturday, 10 to 50% off. We have an unbelievable list of specials that we are going to be offering. I saw, I don't know, Shimano Intenza rods, George.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, 40% off. I saw some a bunch of other Shimano reels and stuff that's that we're closing out, and 30%, 35% off. We got Lose reels at 30-35% off. Some of the closeout stuff, the early closeout, that stuff that we're gonna be blowing out. And I mean, it's just, list goes on and on and on. We have a bunch of stuff. We have AFCO shorts at 50% off. We have AFCO shirts at 50% off. We have Shimano hoodies and sun hoodies and sun shirts, at a great big deep discount.
Back it down, Hot Rod. There's only 3 people working tomorrow.
Yeah, bring it. We are ready for it. I'm ready for it. I can do it all myself. Everybody can stay home.
I can do it myself.
It's going to be a blast. So, bunch of stuff happening here on Friday and Saturday. Come on down, say hi to us, and take advantage of the specials. Then, for you guys that are a little far away, because I know Tackle Shop Live has great reach all across the country and world, you guys can take advantage of the sale online on Sunday and Monday with a great discount of 15% off most everything online. It's a great sale. It's something for you guys. It's just something we can do for you, and we're very, very happy and proud to do it. So check that out online on Sunday and Monday. Come on in the shop on Friday and Saturday, and enjoy your Labor Day weekend here at the shop. Okay. My name is Mike Acord. This is George Acord. Behind the camera is cameraman Nick. We are Tackle Shop Live. We come at you every Thursday night at 7 o'clock, as I said earlier. And we are going to get this show rolling. And this is our favorite part of the show, and we call this Tackle Talk. All right. We are a tackle shop. We love playing with tackle. We love unloading tackle, which we've been doing all week long and putting it up. Tractor trailer loads, skid loads of stuff coming
train loads,
trains, all kinds of stuff. I mean, we've been getting stuff piled in here. It's been really exciting. The shop is looking real good right now. And George, what do we got? What do we got to talk about? What do you have to show us? What's cool?
Well, I got a couple of really interesting items tonight. First off, and this is from a kayak guy who's a hardcore angler. This is what he's been throwing lately. It's the Trogs Lager.
Yeah,
now,
baby.
I don't know how he's been rigging these. We're going to free rig them. There's one for cameraman Nick.
We're using the free rig.
We're going to free rig these.
This is the free rig.
This is courtesy of longtime SFT friend. Long-time Tackle Shop Live friend.
Yep.
Matthew Weimer, who
thank you, Matthew.
Who is our beer sponsor.
Yep.
Because he can. I told him we'd give this one a run. And let him know we got Trogs Lager, Pennsylvania lager, mind you. Not just a regular lager like a German lager.
I'll tell you what.
An Ohio lager.
I'm telling you
5% alcohol by volume.
Yeah, I mean, this is a nice little session beer, man.
Let's give her a run.
It's I'll tell you what, Matthew. If you were in control, man, this is awesome stuff.
I think we'll just keep that rest of that 6-pack out. I have another interesting bait to show you too. And this is a Sunshine Pilsner, also from Trogs. Oddly enough, from another hardcore kayak guy and longtime friend of SFT's, Mr. Paul Pendyke, who's no stranger to beer.
No.
He's genuinely has brought it from one continent to another.
Absolutely.
So he's intercontinental.
he's a big beer guy, big beer pub guy. Owned a
Oh, yeah.
pub.
He owned one of the most famous pubs there is, the Bull's
Yeah.
Head.
The Bull's Head, yeah.
And we used to go up there and hang out with him every once in a while. So we're going to give this one a run next. And this, I think we're pretty well fortified here. We got a 5% and a 4.5.
Yeah.
So
We won't be
I don't know. I think
we won't be dancing on the showcase. I think we'll be all right.
I think we're going to Texas rig the Sunshine.
Stay tuned, folks. It could get interesting today.
All righty then. Okay. Thanks, guys, for your
thanks
beer
a lot.
sponsorship.
Thank you so much. You guys are great.
We really appreciate you. Plus, it's fun. So we have some different things tonight. We have some baits that we're going to discuss. And then we're going to morph into a new segment called the Rig of the Week.
Rig of the week.
So we're gonna talk about some baits.
Oh no.
We're gonna talk about some of that stuff, and then we're gonna talk about a new segment that we're gonna start running called the Rig of the Week. So without any further ado, boys, let's let her rip.
Let's go, brother.
Let's let her rip. So, first and foremost, we're going to go real small here. We're going to go to the little bitty 2-inch long, 3/16 of an ounce Jackal Live Darter.
Look at that little sweetheart, man.
This thing right here.
Tell me that's not going to catch them tough fish in September.
This thing right here is absolutely badass. And who sold me on this was Jesse Wiggins. He started talking to me about this bait. I saw a video on it, and he was telling me how he was using it. I was sold. Right on the spot.
Well, we have a video up on that, don't we, Nick? On Instagram, and you can see the enthusiasm in his voice. You hear the enthusiasm in his voice about it.
Jesse Wiggins?
Yeah, he was fired up about this thing.
It's probably the same video I saw.
Possibly.
George was there.
Oh, is that the video?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, was there? Yeah, so this bait right here, this bait, when you jerk this bait, and you can jerk it with your rod tip down, just like you're fishing a jerk bait. So if let's say you're scoping, and you cast this out, and you watch it fall down, and you start working it, back to you with rod tip down. This thing will dart way the hell over here. Kind of, when you jerk it, it kind of darts and rises and then falls. Darts the other way, rises and falls.
Wow.
Not a lot of wiggle.
Wow. More of a,
But
that's why they call it a darter.
A whole bunch of darting and falling. Darting, walking, darting, real wide. It's got these two little fins on it. These fins right here.
Do it vertical. Do it vertical. There you go. Turn it. Right there.
Perfect.
Right there.
That's why we call him Cameraman Nick. And then the hook. Okay, the hook is a split double. And it's clipped in to a fin on the belly.
There, just hold it still there.
There you go. Now, when that fish eats that bait, these little hooks right here, they're setting themselves. And then it pops out of that clip, and now it's free swinging to enhance the battle. So it's not so rigid and structured. And that clip is just a real simple little wire. Kind of looks like they stuck a staple in the belly of this thing. See that? It's essentially a staple shaped piece of metal. So when you're done reeling in the old hammer dog, you can just clip that back up in there. And there's another hook hanger position here that if you want to modify this hook situation here, you could put like a little treble hook up here. Probably take this one off at that point. And then you got this Mylar tinsel tail that is affixed to the back where a hook would go in the back here.
Beautiful.
Live darter.
You know,
It's 3/16 of an ounce.
so you'll be able to throw it real far.
Well, you're going to have light tackle, spinning rod,
Yeah.
light line, light braid with a light leader. It's 2 inches long, 3/16 of an ounce. The other way that I want you to think about this bait, guys, okay, has nothing to do with forward-facing sonar. Forward-facing sonar is one aspect of this bait. This bait is multi-functional.
Yeah.
The other way I want you to think about this bait is to think about a Megabass Karashi.
Yeah.
And think about casting this bait even in shallow water and visually working this bait so that you're seeing it.
Yeah.
With that walk the dog it kind of walks the dog, climbs and falls. Walks the dog, climbs and falls. This thing's bad to the bone. $17.99, guys.
Beautiful bait.
And George, what's the size on that thing?
It's 3/16 of an ounce. It's 2 inches. All kinds of colors. Here's an IU. You know, you got that nice olive back. That real, traditional IU color, which is a primo top color.
Yeah.
Is IU.
Yeah.
Here's one that you might not think of for a bait fish imitator, but it certainly is. The name's a little funky. It says brown crawl. It's kind of got that brown back with that crawl / shrimp profile.
Looks like those damn river shiners, man, right there.
It does.
I'm
Looks
telling you right now.
It's called brown crawl, and it looks a hell of a lot like a log perch.
Log perch, yeah. Yeah.
And if you know what a log perch is, then you know.
Then you know.
That's another brown crawl there.
Don't get me on the log perch pattern, Nick. Look
More
out,
IUs
baby.
There.
You know that pattern.
Oh, son.
Oh, here we go. This is called High Flash Silver Shad. High Flash Silver Shad. So essentially, your chrome entry. But, a
Kind of a blue backish.
yeah, blue, green back, white belly. There's the white belly. Silver more than chrome. That's your flashy boy. And I didn't get all the colors. There's other colors, obviously. There's 7, 8 colors, maybe.
You could check them out online.
I would definitely check them out
yeah,
online.
Yeah, they got some great pictures of them online. You can see them and check them out.
Right on the website. And again, this is a multifaceted bait. It excels in a forward-facing sonar format. And as a comparison, we always do comparisons. When we talk about football players, we talk about comparisons. Like if we were going to talk about, I don't know, Micah Parsons, who might we compare him to? It certainly wouldn't be TJ Watt, but I digress. Just saying. I mean, okay. I would compare this with a Megabass Karashi.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it is a Megabass Karashi.
Yeah.
I'm saying I would compare it to that because it's versatile in that regard.
Yeah, and it's one of those baits for, those really finicky fish in September
Oh.
when they get on that stupid little bait
Mm-hmm.
and you're throwing the tackle box at them and they won't hit anything. This is that perfect size and that perfect action to get those reaction bites when they're schooling up on them little bitty,
Now, guys,
rain bait,
I want to ask you a trivia question. test, if you will. What do we always say about these little bitty baits?
Big elephants eat peanuts.
My man.
right.
That's it. What do you think of that, Nick?
Well, and I was going to say that because when I was talking to Jesse Wiggins, he pulls me to the side and he goes, "Hey, I want to show you something." He shows me his phone, and what he had on his phone was his forward view, and this bait was on forward view. And he said, "Great bait. He loves it, but people are going to think that it won't catch big fish
Yeah.
because it's small."
Yeah.
But he was showing me how they were reacting to this bait.
Yeah.
They were all over it.
Oh, yeah.
So it was really, really cool. He was showing me on his phone.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. You know, our first appointment at ICAST is always with Shimano. Of course, Jackal is distributed by Shimano, but they have their own booth inside the Shimano booth. And you know, we eventually got to the Jackal booth, with our Shimano meeting, and of course, there's Jesse. Well, you know, we've known Jesse he's been here many times, and you know, it was great to catch up with him, but we wanted to get to work, and we're like, you know, can you run us through the Jackal lineup for this coming year? New bait wise is focused. It's a tight offering. They probably deleted more products than they added, but and you know, he's running through these products, and it's color extensions. It's basically color extensions. And I said, well, what about this Live Daughter? I'm like, I'm not really schooled up on it, and you know, I already ordered all my Jackal for the new year before I even got here, but I did not order this bait because I did not truly understand it. He's like, okay, well, and then he went into what Nick was just telling you, and you know, we quickly added quite a few of these baits to our order, because once we saw this bait in the water being manipulated by a rod tip, it was on.
Yeah.
It was on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
And George, so light line, what line would you throw? What pound test would you throw?
Well, you know, this bait reminds me a lot of when I first started fishing with the Jackal riser bait, which, you know, is a delicate bait. And by delicate, I mean, if you don't have your setup right, it doesn't work right. You can take a riser bait and you can put it on too heavy of line, and it just doesn't work right. And what I've learned with that bait, 10 is max. I have not fished this bait yet, but I'm looking at this bait. I'm looking at the action that it imparts. I'm thinking 8 is max. Now, that's a leader on braid. You're going to want to throw this on braid. You're going to want to throw this on a rod that is, for casting distance purposes, think about the same rod that you would throw if you're a northern fisherman, that you would throw your hair jig on. Think about the same rod that you would throw your dice on if you wanted to get long distance. Think about the same rod you throw your evergreen gizmo on. So certainly not more than medium light to medium, but longer. Lighter braid, certainly not more than a 10 or even a 15 braids pushing it. I'm a 15 braid guy, so that's what I'll be throwing. But yeah, we'll know a lot more. We're going to give you a touch up next week, because we're going to take this bait out and run it this weekend and see. We're going to dedicate some time to it. We have some fish located that this should be great to test on. And yeah, can't wait to run it through its paces and bring back a full report.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next week.
Absolutely.
It's an interesting bait. For $17.99, I mean, when you're talking JDM baits, that is certainly in the range.
It is. Absolutely.
And the fact that the chances of losing this bait are pretty slim. I mean, you go back to that riser bait. I literally have the first riser bait that I ever got, which was a sample a year before they even became available for sale. It's all beat up, but I've never lost one.
Yeah.
You know, so in a lot of these cases, you're not losing these baits.
Yeah.
So think of them from a couple different perspectives. But yeah, that's where we're at on that one, people.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited for it. I'm
We'll see.
I'm gonna zing it around a little bit,
We shall see.
catch some fish. I got some fish that are pissing me off that I want to catch. Little suckers,
Well, we're going to give them a run this weekend.
little nippers,
Yep.
little tail nippers. Teach you. Mess with me.
We're going to give them a run this weekend for sure.
Yeah, it's a long weekend. We got the long weekend coming up. 2 days of fishing. I mean, hey, we got to test a lot of stuff out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What else you got there, brother?
I got a reload. I got a reload on the Megabass Blowly. We're going to pop one out of the package here. For those of you who are not familiar with this bait,
Eye by eye, Blowly.
this bait is a small but mighty square bill. So here we have the Baby Kingo Chartreuse back. Okay. So we have it's a small bait. It's see if I can get some specs on it here. 3/8 of an ounce.
Gonna cast nice.
Excuse me?
Gonna cast nice. 3/8 of an
Oh,
ounce. Yeah.
3/8 of an ounce. I'd say it's about 2 inches long.
Circuit board lip.
Yeah, circuit board lip.
Explain that. Explain that. What's unique about that?
Yeah, so we've got a water inlet here. So this bait, as it's going through the water's going to pass through this bait and exit out the gills. See that?
It's a whole nother dynamic of water movement.
So what happens with this bait is, and now that this is the second shipment, having an opportunity to run some of the first ones, you can crank this freaking thing at high speeds, and it does not blow out. This thing is fairly tight for a square bill, but we have had some awesome reports back from the guys that got in on the first run.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3/8 of an ounce, awesome Megabass color selection, obviously. And these are $19.99. Again, certainly not out of the range of a good quality Megabass bait. Lots of awesome colors. We have Secret Truffle. Look at that shad color right there.
Reminds me of a Tennessee shad, Nick.
A lot like a Tennessee shad.
A lot like a Tennessee shad. For you Tennessee shad nuts, that's the one for you.
This is one that gets me every time on every crankbait ever made. A red crawl, and there's this wild crawl.
Yeah, that thing.
That's
awesome.
just, you got to have, in your crankbait collection, you have to have a lot of red.
I was checking them out when they came in, Nick, and I was like, man, I'd like to have one of every one of them. I mean, because they're really cool baits.
Well, I was checking out the color patterns today, and they're top notch.
Oh, yeah. I snagged up a couple.
Gilco.
That's one of my favorite smallmouth colors right there. Sucker gets her
Got
done.
that little bit of purple in there. Clear see-through type body. Here's one I like. Secret Dry Ice.
Felt like a Matt Shad, huh?
Like a clear Matt Shad.
Yeah.
It's hard to beat that.
Oh,
That's bad to the bone.
that's all you, Nick.
It is.
You'll be getting your wallet out tonight when you leave, buddy. I guarantee you.
Pumpkin seed.
A bluegill color for you.
Looks just like a pumpkin seed.
Huh. Imagine that.
Oh. Sexy shad.
Can't really call it anything other than that, right?
Well, it's PM. It's PM sexy
yeah,
shad.
yeah.
Matte Tiger. Awesome color. All you dirty water guys, tidal water guys.
Tell you what, Tiger has caught a lot of fish.
Mm-hmm.
Mega Bass King Curro. All you James River guys. You know what they call that on the James River?
No.
The golden retriever.
Ah.
I don't know if you guys out there in TV land are having fun, but I'm having a freaking ball going through these colors. IK Strong Chartreuse.
Look at that thing, man. Dang it.
Hey George, on that last color, the James River color, what are you imitating with that color in the James River?
Well, the James River is it's a little dingy. And gold blackback is always a good color back in the day. It was always a good cloudy day color in Clearwater. And Bagley's used to make a DKB1 gold foil with a black back. And it was called, on the James River, it was called the Golden Retriever. And it looks exactly like that. Of course, Chartreuse Blueback.
Got to have that in your lineup.
Kasumi Ito. Now, this color right here.
It's like American shad looking color, doesn't it?
No.
Huh?
This color right here is a foil, a gold to silver foil, white. The Kasumi Ito always has a white belly on it. This color is dynamite in everything they make. This is a really good jerkbait color. It's a bait fish color, but that it's known for the white belly. This is a good color. And then, of course, Wagasaki, GG Wagasaki, another bait fish color. Wagasaki is always known by that little bit of purple on the tail. Yeah, purple back there.
Mm-hmm.
Another, and this is a foil. Beautiful. And one of the prettiest colors Mega Bass does is the GG Bass. You don't know if you want to fish with it or put it up in your shop on the shelf. And next to last one here is the Ito Chicklid. This looks like something that came out of Florida, like somebody released it out of their aquarium.
Aquarium crankbait.
And then last but not least, Mega Bass Bream. Sweet looking color, man. Chartreuse.
That's Octofo's color.
Blue. Look at that.
Green.
Beautiful. That's the Eye by Eye. It's a collaboration bait. And it's a 3/8 ounce square bill. It runs about 3, 4, maybe 5 feet at the most.
Yeah, I was calling it a 3 to 5.
Yeah. I mean, you get down to 5 feet.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, got to call the shop for that one.
Yeah, unfortunately,
we
something happened to our webpage on those. I think it got Putin had something to do with it. Perhaps he got pissed off over.
Yeah, you got to call the shop.
I don't know.
We'll have them up in the next week sometime, but
they'll probably be gone by the time we fix the glitch. They're going to be gone.
Yeah, it's a problem, but it's one of those things. But you can call here at shop and we'll talk you through them.
Absolutely. Also from Mega Bass, and this is just something that's again, if you fish Clearwater, and if you're a smallmouth fisherman on a body of water that's known for smallmouth, like the St. Lawrence River, Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, the Susquehanna River, St. Clair, you don't need one of these You need about 4 of these. This one's coming out of the package for close inspection. This is this month's Respect Series color from Megabass, which is a little different than one that they did on a Japanese order a couple months ago. That was GG smallmouth. This is SG smallmouth, which is a little flatter.
Flatter paint job is what you're saying.
Yeah, a little flatter, a little more natural, maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, the other one looks like it's swimming in the package.
Yeah.
But look at that. I mean, would you look at that? Just look at it. Huh? Give me a break. I mean, you got to have these. That's deadly. SG smallmouth. We did run through a few of these, but we have it in 110, 110 junior +1, 110 +1. I mean, there's a couple Karashis left. I'm sorry about we got hit really, really hard on these yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Or else I'd have had a better selection for you. But the ones we have, the 110, the 110 +1,
Got a
the
few
junior +1. I mean, we're not wiped out by any means. We got a fair amount of those. So we have some of those for you. And like most of the Respect stuff, we don't put this on our page either because they just don't last. So give us a call on those. Look at that. Come on.
All you need is a 110.
Well, I don't know. If you fish the St. Lawrence River, Lake Erie,
Well,
Lake
+1.
Ontario, or St. Clair, or any of those deep clear water lakes, you better have +1s.
Yeah, but for me, all I need is a 110. I got one. It's on my desk. Snatch one of them up too.
Look at that.
This
The 110 shallow runners, we got a restock on a couple colors that were out, namely Matt Shad.
Nick, here's your favorite color, Nick.
The shallow runner is, we broke this down heavily a couple months ago. This is a 110, with the only exception being it only runs about 3 feet deep. And we fish the hell out of this thing. It's durable. The lips don't break on them when you're banging them on rock.
It's great right now.
There's a whole bunch of colors, and they are on our website.
Yeah,
But we were out of this one.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the way this summer's been going for a lot of rivers and places up here in the Northeast, when you're dealing with that shallow water, the 110, a little bit fragile for this kind of water. That sucker, perfect lip, perfect depth. You can work that thing hard, and it's not going to break.
I like it.
Really good.
I like it. I worked it pretty hard for a couple trips. Okay, guys. Now we're going to talk about the rig of the week. And this was brought to our forefront. This was brought to our attention by one of our guys that works here who's been fishing it for a couple of years now, all the time. But he had a good fishing trip the other day, and he was telling us about it. And we're like, you know what? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that tonight. And it's probably something you're all aware with, but I bet you a lot of you don't fish it. And it's called a free rig. And it's simple. I mean, the free rig, it's a great name, but it's essentially a Texas rig that the sinker slides real easy on because you're using a sinker with a metal eye.
Better put your sinker on first.
I'm going to cut it on the other end.
Oh, it's not the way you do it in the real world.
Oh, my God.
This is a real world show.
I got complaints already.
If that was tied to a rod, how would you do it?
It's not tied to a rod.
Well, just saying.
All right. We're going to make this as realistic as possible. Can you go get like a bucket of water?
I'll tell you what
throw
you
it on
do.
me while I'm tying this up.
You tie the hook on like George was going to do, and then you strip all your line off. Then you run that sinker on there, and then you reel all your line back on your spool.
Yeah.
Or you do it like this.
So the trick to the free rig, and we're going to talk about a couple aspects of this free rig, the subtleties of it, a couple little aspects of it. First of all, it's a very effective rig. So it's something that if you're not like into really experimenting with stuff, this one here you'll like. If you've ever fished a Texas rig,
What kind of sinker do you use, George?
well, you want something with a metal eye on it.
You need a ring eye.
Yeah, well, yeah, round metal eye.
Yeah.
So you can take a drop shot weight.
Yep.
That would be considered a tie on, one that you would tie on. So it's got a round
Yeah.
metal eye.
Yep. That's the
Good
key.
camera work there, Nick.
That's the key to it, Nick, right there.
But that's a tungsten weight. That's a Picasso tungsten teardrop. Okay. You can use teardrop. You can use cylinder. I grabbed the Picassos because they have a whole series with round eyes,
Yeah.
as other companies do
Yeah.
too.
Nice thing about that one is, if you're in the real sticky stuff, in the river, rocky
let's
ledges
say-
and that kind of stuff. I like that little longer one.
Let's say you're bassing on a budget,
Exactly.
or let's say that when I drop shot fish, I use lead drop shot weights.
Depends on where I'm at. I mean, the thing about that is, some places you lose a lot of them, especially when you're dealing with barnacles and, zebra mussels up in the Finger Lakes. I mean, how many sinkers you go through when you go up to 1,000 Islands, Nick?
Too many.
Yeah. I mean, it's like if you don't go up there with 45 sinkers for a weekend, you're going to be looking for stuff.
I want to tell you a little secret I do. So I always use lead as well, unless I'm drop shotting for spawning fish. And the only reason why I use tungsten at that point is because less volume, it's going to make less of an impact when it hits the water if I'm fishing for spawning fish. That's the only reason.
Yeah, you still got good feel with some guys, tungsten clicks a little bit more in the rocks and clacks around a little louder and whatnot.
Oh, I'm not discounting
Yeah.
any of the benefits of tungsten.
Yeah, there's a
I'm
lot,
just saying
of
that-
great stuff with tungsten.
And I don't know why, other than that's just what I do. I don't know why. Like in my Texas rigging and flipping and all that, I switched to tungsten, wouldn't go back. But it's just some stuff that anglers do. Like with me, I drop shot with lead. And I'll tell you something else. I Carolina rig with lead. I don't like Carolina with tungsten. I have tried Carolina rigging with tungsten. I don't like it. It's just everybody has what works for them, and we can always do better. We're never too old to learn a benefit. That's just what I do. Now, if you like to fish lead and you want a free rig with lead, get yourself a package of Bass Casting. Okay. Bass Casting. The Bullet Weights company makes them. They're called Bass Casting. And they have a round eye on them. When we were kids, we called them bell sinkers.
Yep.
A lot of people call them catfish sinkers. And this one's 1/8 of an ounce. If you need a heavy one, they do get a little big, a little quick.
Yeah, they do.
So that's a big advantage of tungsten. But the nice thing about free rig, a lot of times with free rig, we're fishing lighter weights. So 1/8 is probably lighter than I would use in most cases. 3/16 is
Sweet spot.
yeah, sweet spot, like for that 10, 15 foot range. Deeper than that, I'm going to a quarter, or windy.
Mm-hmm.
If it's windy, I'm going to a quarter. I want to feel the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay. As always, the appropriate weight for open water. This is open water. This is an open water technique. So, rock, wood, open water, ledge fishing, maybe around a brush pile or what have you. but like not thick grass, not thick grass. Edge of grass.
Mhm.
But there's a lot I want to get into here with you guys. I want to talk it through. I want to bat it through with you guys. There's a lot. I sort of have an outline here. I did get derailed with the whole put the sinker on thing, but I think I've recovered.
Well, we want this.
No, I
we want
feel
this
as
to
though
be realistic as
I've
possible.
recovered.
We want this to be as realistic as possible.
So, to Mike's point, we want to put this sinker on first. And that's why you use something with a metal eye. Okay? So next we're going to tie on our hook. Now, one of the baits that I like to free rig, and I'm not a big free rigger by any means, but I'm trying to broaden my horizons, become a better person.
Old Skeeter Steve's been kicking ass on, and he's been really pushing us to this deal.
Well, one of the baits that I like for this is a tube. And when I rig a tube on a Texas rig, I like to use a wide gap. So we're going to tie this up here. We're going to tie this wide gap up here. And we're going to show you a couple different baits that we're going to put on this wide gap and discuss. We're going to have discussion. We'll trim that up. My reel.
Yeah.
Free rig. Kind of hard to get a hold of. So when you cast this thing in, because this sinker's sinking like this sinker's going to slide down your line, sink on the bottom, and then this bait's just going to kind of come wandering its way down, right? And you can pick it up with your rod tip and hop it. And when you hop it, it's going to fall again a little bit. Not quite as much as when you casted it. And then it's going to wander back down. And then you hop it up again. And the same thing happens again. Rinse and repeat.
Mm-hmm.
So let's think about that procedure. So like you're tight to this thing. When you're tight, it's against the sinker. When you hop it up and let it fall with a little bit of slack, you get a little more separation.
Right.
So you get the initial big fall, and then you get a series of small separations. Okay?
Yeah.
Question, do you use a bobber stop to protect the knot? Don't really do that because this is a pretty big loop, and it's not really, the weight is not really hammering that knot. It's just that little loop. You could absolutely, on lighter line, if that makes you feel more comfortable. It's not going to hurt anything. Put a bobber stop on, slide it up there. I don't. This one is the wide gap, which is a versatile hook for this kind of stuff. Okay, because one of the things that we're going to talk about rigging is and this is going to be for like an open water situation where these fish are on bait fish, is going to be a minnow bait. So now this one I grabbed out of my stash. It's a little smaller than I probably would use. It's 3.5 inches. It's certainly not too small by any means, but it is for that hook. I'd want a smaller hook, or I'd nose hook it like a drop shot rig. But what's nice about the Z-Man plastic, it's buoyant. So, it'll take a little longer to descend. The weight of the hook, will kind of, I would back, if I was going to do a wide gap on that, I'd back it down to a 1 and get that fit right there. That's actually a 1/0.
1-0, yeah, 1-0. I was gonna say
That's a 3.5-inch bait.
1-0 is perfect for that.
I could do a 5-inch on a 3-0. I could do a tube on here. One of the super popular baits in the free rig world. And if you go back to our G-Crack display, you will see that these are basically gone.
Picked over well.
We're waiting for the next round. This thing, because it's so flat with that hook, this thing just kind of surfs. It planes. And then you can pop it and get a little bit of planage out of it. The bellows gill, bellows shad, bellows anything. Bellows gill, bellows shad, 2.8, 3.8.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. And then, of course, the Z-Man angle with the buoyancy. One of the things that is popular on these rigs is worms. And, of course, Z-Man does shaky worms. But they do this bang stick, which we really like. It has the little bit of the tickler tail on a nice buoyant bang stick. This is a phenomenal Nico worm.
That's really cool because of the concept there. There's a whole different concept to that when you throw it out and it falls to the bottom. And then, in your mind, you can just kind of shake the rod and that thing floating up. You can be shaking that worm up above the brush pile or something like that, man. It's a whole nother concept with the floating plastics. You know?
I mean, you're going to have to get a little separation on it. It does float.
Yeah.
But it's not going to float like a bobber because of the weight of the hook.
Yeah. It'll float pretty good, though.
But it floats up. But this is a great worm for free rigging. It's a great worm for Nico. This is a freaking awesome Nico worm. Awesome. You don't need a rubber band. You're not going to tear it out. They make a Nico weight that will not come out of this thing. Really works well.
Mm-hmm.
But that's another rig for another rig of the week. We should be able to get through most of a year, believe it or not, on rig of the week. Matter of fact, we have to make a note here. Rig of the week.
There's so many freaking rigs. You know what? This is going to be good for me, Nick, because I'll remember some of them. I'll see how they're tied up.
Then Mike will get in the tournament and he'll be trying these rigs.
I might. Hey, that free rig, the way Skeeter Steve got us all fired up on that thing, man. I mean, we're ready to go out and throw that son of a gun tomorrow.
It works.
Oh, yeah.
So check this out. Flipping with a free rig.
I've seen that in action.
Oh, yeah. I know you have. Big hook, big line. Could be a beaver style bait. Could be a bellows gill. Could be a worm. Could be a craw. Could be anything.
That's a big deal down in Florida in the early season.
Oh,
you got to have it because, you're flipping, some of that grass is coming up. Bass are starting to spawn or get close to it. And you see that all the time.
oh, yeah.
But you're talking heavier, you're talking power.
Power free rigging.
Yeah,
The power rig.
that's right.
Yeah. So, if you think about the seasons of fishing, one of the tricky seasons that Nick just brought up is the spawn season. We're not talking about the actual moment that the fish are on the bed. That's really tricky. But when they're gathered up and in that spawning attitude or mindset, and, what's some of the things we do when we're fishing grass? For example, we rely heavily on a Senko. We rely heavily on a Texas rig Senko with a lightweight. That's deadly, deadly, deadly.
Yeah.
We rely heavily on a wacky rig. Deadly, deadly, deadly. And, again, our fisheries are very pressured, guys. I mean, I don't care where you go. It just doesn't matter. Bass fishing is such a massive sport that and in the Northeast here, it's even more compressed, but everywhere you go, even on the biggest southern lakes, every day, every night of the week, wildcat tournaments. Up north, the St. Lawrence. I mean, you're always around other boats. These fish are pressured.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we watched the St. Lawrence River tour events this year. We watched the St. Clair tour events this year, and we saw these guys that have grown up there, that have fished there forever. We saw every single one of them talk about how fishing pressure has changed. Now think about this.
Yeah.
Like, you can't see the other side of St. Clair. You can't see the other side of Lake Erie. You can be driving from one side of Lake Erie to the other, and there's a pretty good moment of time when you don't see anything but water. These are big, giant fisheries that fishing pressure has altered the fish. The St. Lawrence River, hundreds of miles of water. Lake Ontario, Lake Erie. So,
yeah.
There is some consideration and these rigs are born out of that. So the free rig was born out of dealing with pressured fish. And, we're talking about the trickiness of some of the seasons. And the two most tricky seasons of all are the early to mid part of the spawn, and right now, the transition from summer to fall.
September.
They're tricky.
Brutal.
They're tricky. Now you can travel up north and get away from it to some extent, but you're still dealing with,
tricky.
Yeah. And this free rig is a way of conquering some of that during your day. So, if you think about these rigs, this is just one setup that you're fishing during your day.
And George, with that free rig, now if you go to the power side of it, it doesn't much matter as far as line. But if you go to the finesse side of it, I'm a firm believer that the lighter the line you go, the better you're going to get the realistic presentation out of your bait. And if you're not going to go heavyweight, I mean, I don't know what size that weight is you have.
That's a quarter.
That's a quarter.
Yep.
So I would say a quarter and lower, your 3/16, your eighth. You want to go with the lightest weight you possibly can, because you're going to get the realistic floating action or falling action from that G crack or whatever. Once you get into the power, it doesn't matter. But that realistic presentation, when you're dealing with fish like you're talking about, that are pressured, that's going to make all the difference in the world between catching fish and not catching fish, in my opinion.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
Absolutely.
I have an interesting take on that too, Mike. We Mike and I fish some local little trails, and one of our pro staffers and his partner Brian Setlock, Dave Kovac, run some wonderful tournaments, and they're fun for us to fish. We really look forward to them. Good competition, stiff, stout competition. Because for example, they're all on one body of water.
Yeah, it's challenging.
So
very
you're
challenging.
fishing against
the best
a crew that specializes on that body of water,
they're
and
the best of the best.
It's challenging. One of the things that we've been doing is downsizing our line, which is not something that we're teaching ourselves a new way to go. And it's my point that I want to make, guys, is that we've been fishing a ton of 8-pound tests, and even in grass. We've caught a lot of fish the last couple of years, all up and down the Susquehanna River drainage from the Chesapeake on up. A lot of fish in grass on 8-pound fluorocarbon leader on braid. And, we're fishing everybody's fluorocarbon. We're fishing high seas. We're fishing Seagar. We're fishing Sunline. Love the FC Sniper. Do I say enough about high seas? I don't know. You may have heard me say about it before. But my point is, and it goes along with what Nick's saying, we've caught a lot of fish where I believe we wouldn't have caught a lot of fish because we downsized. We shared with you guys earlier this year our first tournament on the Conowingo pool, which is a reservoir for those of you not from the area. It's a river run reservoir. We fished grass all day. We caught a pile. I mean, I don't even know how many fish. We caught a lot. We caught 30. I don't know. Keepers. And we caught a lot of them in the grass on a fluke with 8-pound line. And I mean, it would be just set the hook, keep everything tight. And what I'm learning is if you don't get crazy, these fish will kind of come out of that clump. And you're tight, so now you can get them to the next clump. And you're all, that's a low percentage game. Well, I used to think that too, but it's not. So kind of to Nick's point with, the concept of this rig is finesse rig that helps us get bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's a finesse rig that helps us get bit when we're not getting bit. And to your guys' point on that, don't be afraid of 8-pound line. It's just an interesting concept. For example, I would never flip with anything other than 20-pound fluoro. That's all I would ever fish with. Everything 20-pound fluoro. And I still use a ton of 20-pound fluoro. But man, have I ever learned what 15 can do. And I feel as though I get a lot more bites. Now, if I was in a, one of these big money situations, I probably wouldn't do that, but maybe I would now that I've experienced it.
But, we talk about line, and I know we're getting on other stuff, but the biggest mistake I've seen a lot of people do is you're getting outfished on your own boat and you're throwing the same exact bait. Nobody ever says, "Hey, what line are you throwing back there?"
Oh,
it makes a huge difference.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It could be the difference between you catching a fish and watching somebody else load the boat.
I fished with a guy one time on a lake, real clear lake, and we practiced fish together, and I caught like 11 fish. And at the end of the day, he's like, "I just can't believe that you can catch those fish and I can't get bit." And, he said, what is going on? I got the same line size. I got the same, bait, the same rig. You gave me the rig, what is the problem? I said, "Well, let me show you, buddy." He says, "Yeah." I said, "It's the end of the day and I'll show you." He threw out, I said, "Throw your line out there." And he threw his line out there and I threw my line right next to his, and it hit him like a ton of bricks. He was fishing a fluorescent blue line and I was fishing fluorocarbon, and you couldn't even see mine. He's like, "Gosh almighty. Oh my gosh, what kind of line is that?" And I said, "That's fluorocarbon. It's probably a line you'll never buy because it's very expensive." "Oh my gosh, what the heck?" And he saw the difference, like right smack in your face, So, light line is the same thing. Now, back then it was just the color your line, the clarity of fluorocarbon compared to a fluorescent blue or some of these other lines. Now we're getting into size of lines and, all that kind of stuff, to get the different presentations for pressured fish.
So Nick, let me ask you about this free rig now. I know you have a lot of experience with it. And I don't. I have minimal experience with it, but I'm learning. So your lighter rigs, your smaller open water minnow baits and what have you, tubes, small creatures, open water. Are you fishing primarily with spinning rod? What's your rig?
I like a spinning rod. I feel more comfortable with a spinning rod. Some people are going to say they want to throw a bait casting setup. That's fine. I just feel more comfortable with a spinning rod in that standpoint because I'm throwing a lighter hook, so I don't want to overpower. I tend to overpower things, so as it is. So I'm going with the spinning rod. I'm looking at a 7-foot medium type deal.
Braid to a leader.
Braid to a leader. I'm sticking with that 7 to 8 pound test like you're talking about. I have been doing a lot of work with FC Sniper 7 pound. and I just love that in between there. But yeah, I think that G crack is hard to beat. The secret's out, and we can tell. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, So this bait, for those of you who haven't fished in the last 5 years, this bait is, and we've talked about this bait a lot. This is one of those Japanese companies that has changed an aspect of our game. So this is a 2.8. Okay. This is a 2.8 bellows gill. And when you rig this up on a wide gap hook, this is a bigger wide gap than I would use. I'd use more like this. When you rig this up on a wide gap hook, you can rig it flat, right? So now when you free rig this thing, especially on that initial descent, you're getting a lot of this planing, wandering, planing type action. And, you know, as it's falling, you're kind of picking up a little bit of that slack. And then when it gets down there in the bottom, as we discussed, you're going to pop your rod up, you know, almost like you're stroking it up off the bottom, and it's going to repeat because you're going to drop your rod and let this sinker fall, and then you're going to get back in control of your line, and this thing has that delayed, wandering, planing type action, and the bites are
they nail it.
The bites are like,
and George, I mean, you love to flip and pitch a jig, right? When do you get most of your bites?
On the fall.
On the fall. It's the same deal.
Yep.
It's the same deal.
Yeah, I mean, I would be like encouraging people to, you know, and I think what turns a lot of people off is the concept of it being like a new finesse technique. And a lot of times when it's a new finesse technique, people are that aren't exposing themselves to new techniques like that but it's really basic. I mean, it's super, let's review, super basic. So we have, and what I'm going to do here is make my point. If you have ever in your life fished a Texas rig, and that's a little tongue in cheek right there. I mean, if you haven't, then you're definitely were searching for another podcast and you came across this one. If you've ever fished a Texas rig, ever. Okay. You know what I'm getting at. This is essentially a Texas rig with a more free falling sinker. And your only learning curve is when you first cast in, you want to, instead of following it down like you're used to, you want to give this bait some slack to get a vertical fall. You're not necessarily you're going down faster with your rod than you do on a Texas rig. You know, we always talk about following it down with your rod, but allowing it to fall straight up and down as possible. Here you want to throw a little slack in the line to allow the sinker to separate and run. And it's just going to go. The sinker's just going to go. And now, as soon as you feel the bottom, you want to now regain control and it's kind of a feeling game. And in your mind's eye, you're kind of fishing this thing down. Everything's tight on the bottom. Okay, it's all tight. Stroke it up and repeat. Probably you won't have to do that. If the fish are going to eat, they're going to eat on that initial drop, probably. But really pay attention. Become a line watcher, because there is slack in your line, and really pay attention. You know, have it on a nice sensitive setup. Braid's going to help you. Now, from the flipping aspect, the only thing that changes is the weight of the sinker and the size of what your hook and bait are. And it's not necessarily going to be a big bait. Like, I'm an old school Reaction Innovation Sweet Beaver guy. That's an awesome flipping bait for this rig. And then remember the other highlight of this conversation of the rig of the week. Nice new segment. Maybe you can get a nice little snappy rig of the week.
Jingle.
Rig of the week. It's the rig of the week. Kind of a little jingle for us. You know, something a little pop-up tempo. You know what I mean?
I'll work on that
Ding,
tomorrow.
ding, 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 ding. Get somebody, commission somebody.
I love it, George. I'll tell you why. Our favorite part of the show is always tackle talk.
Yeah.
But when you said rig of the week, and I didn't know where you were going with it because, you know, sometimes we go with it.
This was
right?
under the gun,
So,
under duress.
but what I love about rig of the week, and it's going to help even us,
Yeah.
and it's going to help everybody out there, is I will guarantee anybody that's listening or watching that when you show up to your local lake, river, whatever you're doing, and you're wondering why, man, I'm struggling a little bit, other people are catching fish, you're getting smoked by some of these rigs we're going to go over.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
Right, George and Mike?
Oh yeah. There's no doubt. There's no
There is
doubt.
no doubt. One of the things that Mike and I have been observing, particularly this year in our tournament fishing, because we haven't had a really good, our first tournament they were biting pretty good, but we've pretty much, our second tournament they weren't biting too bad. We pretty much worked really hard to figure out our bite. We fished a little Bubba Scale Derby with our boys this past weekend. And, you know, it's what's fun about it is I love going to a place I haven't been to in a while and putting together a game plan based on the conditions and then adapting. And, you know, it's funny because this place is 15 minutes from my house, but I haven't been there in
Yeah, we always run the other direction.
I haven't been here in a couple months. So to me, I talked Mike. I said, we got to sign up. This is going to be a lot of fun. And, you know, by the end of the day, we had incorporated quite a few things that we haven't done on the regular. You know, we had caught fish on many, many different rigs. Now, there was a couple circumstances on our day Sunday where a free rig might have played. And we didn't even think about it.
No.
But anyways, this week's rig of the week is the free rig. Hopefully we have, you know, broken it down to you in a way that kept it pretty simple, because you know what? It is simple. You know, now the baits that we recommended for the finesse side, the tube, the bellows gill,
What size hook on that bellows gill?
1.0 wide gap on a 2.8. 1.0 wide gap on a 2.8. 3.0 wide gap on the 3.8. So we've talked about the bellows gill, 2.8, 3.8. We talked about the Z-Man scented jerk shed. And they make all different sizes. So, you know, don't think that you have to fish small. If you're around big bait in open water and they're somewhat bottom oriented and they're eating, you know, let's say you're on a lake where they're eating perch, they make a 6-inch scented jerk shad. You put a 5/0 wide gap in that bad boy and free rig it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good rig. We're going to try it out for sure.
Well, more.
Guaranteed.
We're going to fish it a lot more.
Yeah.
Yep. We're
Yeah.
going to fish it a lot more than we have been.
Well, yeah. I mean, these rigs for me, it's just craziness. So many of them. So I gotta get my act together on it.
Well, you know, you are comfortable and you like to fish what you like to fish.
Yeah, I know, but
you know what? That's what's cool about fishing.
But what, you know, the more you talk about it and seeing the rig and talking about the rig, the more excited you get about it. And this segment right here is helping me, because now I got excitement about a whole nother rig. And now I'm saying to myself, man, I would have worked here. That would have worked there.
You know what cracks me up about you, though, Mike? You remind me of that guy who will never think about it. And all of a sudden, you're like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm putting that on my rod this week.
Yeah.
And then you wipe the floor with everybody that week.
Well, I mean, I know that there's, you know, that took me a long time to get on a drop shot. I mean, you know, and
Really?
well, nobody ever showed me the drop shot. And my first drop shot rig was with the 4 foot leader. I had a 4 foot extension on my drop shot, and I was going around. I was flipping around barges down in the Potomac.
That's hilarious.
I had no clue. It was 6 foot of water. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna put this up at 4 feet, and I'm gonna be going along with these guys, you know. And I never got a bid on it. But I didn't know. I had no clue. I never saw it rigged. I never saw, you know, I saw it rigged, but I didn't. Nobody ever said, you know, what your optimal leader length should be. So, you know, seeing this kind of stuff right here pumps me up, and now I've got some confidence to go out and do it. And it's going to be fresh in my mind next time I get to the situation, like where we were, you know, this past weekend. You know, we were flipping holes in grass, and you know, we were catching them on finesse jigs in holes in grass, and you know, flipping. I haven't done it in a while, so that was fun. But at the same time, those fish were at the very top of the grass. So you threw out, boom, you got hit right away. If you had something that would just fall real slow down in those holes, I think we would have just absolutely lit them up. So, you know, that's what I'm talking about with this segment. What it's doing for me. Hackensack, New Jersey.
Great segment, George. Love it.
Hackensack, New Jersey.
I have my phone turned off for the show.
I had mine off too, but I don't know.
That's
what
that little
there.
jingle he's gonna come
Yeah.
in with.
That's it.
Regular week.
But
Regular week.
one of the things that's going on, you know, and that's happening is, and what this rig's going to do is we're coming up on like September. And, you know, I don't care where you go anywhere in the country. September is a very confusing month for fish. You know, on your big reservoirs, you're starting to get the thermocline rollovers, the lake rollovers. You're starting to get, you know, fish that are just doing whatever they do, and nobody can really ever figure out what they're doing and why they're doing it. You know, if you listen to people talking, when they talk about September and rollover and what the fish are doing, they're either catching them super shallow, or they're catching them really deep, you know, or, you know, that's just the way they catch them.
Can you guys talk to the viewers and listeners a little bit about that rollover?
Well, I have a different take on it too, but yeah, we're going to talk about that. I had a really interesting email from AFCO Scott.
AFCO Scott, yeah, absolutely.
How he was fishing in a big bay off of Lake Ontario.
Yeah.
And the wind on Lake Ontario had what's called an upwelling.
Oh yeah.
Where it pushed
cold water up.
All kinds of deep cold water up shallow. So it's I guess you could think of it as a flip.
Yeah, it's kind of like a flip.
But yeah. I mean, like it's basically like you got all these bass that are out on the lake in shallow meaning
25, 35, 30, 40 feet.
Or shallower.
Yeah.
And then you get this wind pattern for whatever reason. Currents change, wind pattern, whatever. That's substantial, not something that happens every day.
Yeah.
And a big cold blast of water got pushed up. And he told me that where he was fishing, which was in a bay off the lake, all those fish flooded into that bay, and he had a freaking heyday.
Yeah.
Just hammering fish. They were everywhere.
That was the stable water.
Yeah. So they sought it out.
Yeah, they sought out the stable water.
You know, they were like, well, let's go there.
Yeah.
Oh, this is cool. Oh, look at that. There's a nice square bill crankbait. And, you know, he just hammered fish. So,
yeah,
that's not really a flip, but it's kind of like a flip.
It's kind of the same thing. But what you got to realize about thermoclines is, you know, in the heart of the summer, when you have the heat beating down and everything's going, it gets like a hard line. You get a hard line thermocline, you know, and it's a solid thermocline, and the fish really use it. And they really relate to it. The bait fish really relates to it, and they know exactly what's going on with it. And it's like that hard line throughout the whole lake. But then when you start getting the temperature changes on the surface, that hard line becomes soft. It becomes thick. It becomes, so it doesn't necessarily have to flip over. Although when it does, it's really bad. But you start getting that real hard line now becomes soft. It gets jumbled up. And that's where the problem begins. And that's where early fall, early September starts to become like, wow, shit, what's going on? The fish are moving, man. They were here, they're gone now, they're way over here. You know, you got winds now, you got some different winds coming because it's a different time of the year. The planet is in a different phase, the winds are blowing a different direction, it's changing the water. So that's, in my mind, what September is. A confusing time for bait fish. It's a confusing time for the bass to lock in on stuff. So the bait fish are moving around, the bass are moving around, but some of the bass goes, man, screw this crap. I'm going shallow. They go right up to the bank, and you have that super ultra shallow bite starts to come on, and it gets good doing that. So and then as it progresses and you get into late September, October, that's when you start seeing the true flip. And that's where the top of the lake becomes colder than the bottom of the lake, and cold water is heavier than warm water, and it goes whoop and flips over like that. And it happens more in smaller reservoirs, really bad, you know, in small reservoirs, because it can happen. And it can change color of the water.
I've already smelled it.
Yeah, it changed color water. It brings leaves off the bottom. We've seen it really bad in some of our small reservoirs around here.
But really, what you should do at that point is put the boat back on the trailer and go somewhere else.
Yeah, because it really, that's where, you know, I think the only way to catch them is like against the bank, you know.
So in that case, if you're at a lake, a reservoir, and you see that, you're saying, hey, you're pretty much better off taking your boat and going home. Is it the whole body of water, or?
Well, I think
it depends on the body of water. I mean,
I think the tribs become really huge.
Okay.
You know,
where if you have them, if you
have them, like a lot of our reservoirs, we don't have tribs because they're little, and you're screwed.
Essentially, I really like what Mike said about the shallow bite. Whether the lake, and this has nothing to do with whether the lake flips or not. If the lake flips, we're going to the bank. But even in September, as a rule of thumb, and it's river. Now, I'm not talking about up north. Okay, that's a different element. Although we do very, very well shallow up north. I'm talking about the general fishing in September, no matter where you live. I've done this in many, many states. I like to go shallow. I agree with Mike 100%. And if there are tributaries, I like to get to the back of them. I am going to the back of them. It's funny because I'm watching this guy on Facebook, and he does fiberglass boat repair, specializing in bass boats. And he's got them up off the trailer on these lifts or swinging. Puts a strap under the jack plate, puts a strap under the bow, and lifts them up. And these guys are working underneath it. And I'm thinking, some bitch is going to put some OT in on mine because my stuff looks rough. Because that's where I'm going. I'm going back there. Okay. And sometimes when you're back there, you know, it's a contact sport, and
yeah.
But that's where you're gonna have consistent September fishing.
Yeah.
River fishing. What do we do in the river in September?
Yeah, super shallow.
We go super shallow.
Yeah.
Nick, what is one of the most important components that we carry in our boat?
Push pole?
A block of wood.
Oh, yeah, block
of wood for under the trolling motor.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that.
And the push pole. The push pole is usually out. Yeah. So, you know, that shallow bite is the equalizing factor for stingy September. Not always, but for the most part, for stingy September. And I have a saying, especially when me and Mike are fishing tournament together, we have a saying, let's never cast to the same spot twice. And essentially that means
you're moving water.
Go, go, go. Now you run into some fish, calm down. You know, you can fish too fast at times, but most of the time you want to roll.
Yeah.
And you know what? What do we throw a lot in under those circumstances? We throw the hell out of a buzzbait. We throw the hell out of a topwater, a plopper, a walking bait, a pop-R.
Well, but
We call it the Labor Day pattern.
I mean, it's that shallow water bite is a buzzbait bite. This is September is buzzbait season. I mean, it definitely is, and that'll roll into October a little bit. But right now through September, you're throwing a buzzbait in the shallow water. But I was reading or listening to somebody talking about the southern lakes, and they're like, you either go to the bank and you pound the bank in September, or we're going deep, ultra deep, and getting below that turmoil and getting out into that. Well, deep for them is 30 feet, for those guys, but they're fishing 30, 35 feet of water. They're out there, schools of bait. They're cranking, they're Carolina rigging, they're fishing, whatever they're doing now down there.
I would say they're scoping with a minnow.
A lot of them are scoping. Yeah, a lot of them are scoping out there.
I'd say scoping with a minnow.
But they'll go deep and they'll start just searching them out. And so that's the other aspect of it. But I think the easiest one for most of us guys is to just go shallow and to pound water and cover water. And it's the easier way of doing it. I think it's the funner way of doing it. It's power fishing 101.
Yeah. I mean, I know we launched a boat and open up the rod locker, pull out a buzz bait, a pop-R, a walking bait, and a plopper.
Yeah.
And I mean that they just get used.
Yeah.
We pull out a square bill.
Yeah.
We're cranking that rock, that wood, anything isolated, anything off the bank. And the reason why we're covering so much water is if we're on a fishery that has shad, we want to find the shad.
Yeah.
If we're on a fishery that the predominant species is like river minnows, we're going to go find those minnows.
Yeah.
And we're not going to slow down or stop until we do.
Well, the other thing you got to realize, George, is here today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's September.
But Mike,
here today, gone tomorrow, big time, baby.
My point is, try to finesse fish behind a guy on a trolling motor on a mission.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to be finesse trolling.
Yeah. Now, you catch bing, bing,
Stop.
bing. Whoa, wait a second.
What's going on here?
Let's just finish this
Let's
out.
reevaluate.
Let's just finish this little stretch out. We're going to turn around and we're going to come back and we're going to pick it apart.
That's right.
But we're going to finish our run here.
We're
going to turn and then we're going to come back up through and we're going to pick this apart.
And you're going to finish that run because you're sucking those really aggressive fish up.
Yeah.
Which are usually the big ones.
Yeah. You got to get those first.
Bait.
Then you're coming back through and then all of a sudden you start, picking it apart. And then you start looking around and you're seeing little swirls and stuff and fish that are up underneath trees, kind of right up against the bank, pushing bait up against the bank, or they're swirling on something. And man, you can make skip cast and catch fish right on the bank, and things start happening then. But
the other thing I want to say about that,
number one, you got to find them.
The other thing I want to say about that is with the buzz bait, pop-R, plopper, walking bait, square bill, spinner bait, chatter bait, that's the weaponry, and a fluke. The other thing I want to say about that is the first morning is good sometimes, but I'll take a shade line over an early morning bite 100% of the time. I'll take a shade line over an early morning bite 100% of the time because that shade line, exactly where that fish is going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Jason Ortiz of spinnerbait. I mean, we love a spinnerbait this time,
especially if it's a little windy,
and especially if it's a little windy. But again, the technical aspects of each of these things go deep. The technical aspect of a buzzbait, you can get deep involved with all this stuff. The technical aspect with a spinnerbait, you can get deep involved with the spinnerbait, with blade size and skirt size, with a whopper plopper, messing with the size of the whopper plopper and the color. You can get technical on each thing. We're just giving you the broad strokes of this. There's the inner works when you're fishing, matching the hatch, so to speak, while you're out there fishing. That's the part that changes a lot, but they're the baits, man. They're it's a fun time of year. I mean, it's very challenging. See, I look at it differently, Nick. I like the challenge. I really like the challenge, and I get frustrated sometimes, but I like the challenge of trying to figure it out and moving and glitching and oh man, what is going on here? To that and a deep thought, and then on the drive home, going, oh man, what and then analyzing that, and then going out the next time and
drives you to want to do it again.
Oh yeah, I want to go fishing more when it's super tough like that because I like to try to figure them out. When you hit it right and you figured them out, it is the greatest feeling ever. When you just, man, I knocked him dead today, and you come into the ramp and everybody's like, oh boy, did that suck today. Holy crud,
Yeah.
And you knocked him dead because you figured you unlocked that key. And that's what's so exciting about it.
I want to put you guys in this scenario. You each have 3 rods on your boat. And you're going to start out with your buzz bait, but one of you have to be throwing something else.
Yeah.
Then you're going to slow down if you find fish. What are your rods going to be?
Well, it depends a lot on the fishery. So
what you're used to.
Yeah.
let me say this. If I'm river fishing in September, for smallmouth, and I'm not talking about the St. Lawrence River, I'm talking about like the Susquehanna River, or something of that nature, current river. I'm going to be throwing a fluke. I'm going to be throwing a walking bait. And my third rod is going to be, and now it depends on the weather. If it's, cloudy or windy, it's going to be a spinnerbait or a chatterbait. That's smallmouth. Now, if I'm fishing a typical lake that has grass, obviously heavy on the buzzbait. I think Mike's we're going to pretty much echo this. It's going to be heavy on the buzzbait. It's going to be real heavy on, again, if there's some wind, a spinnerbait and or a chatterbait. I kind of interchange those 2 baits. And then if there's grass fishery in September and I'm fishing that grass, I'm on a swim jig. Yep.
I like the swim jig.
Yeah. Swim jigs.
I'm not slowing down for nothing.
Swim jig's like a great follow-up bait. If you get a blow up on a spinner on a buzz bait, you can throw a swim jig in right behind there and catch them. You can throw a spinner bait in behind there and catch them. But it's so all we're talking about rod wise is 7.2 medium heavies, 7, medium, little bit of medium
For the top water.
but mostly medium heavy stuff, just because that's the bait you're throwing. Big hooks. It's not so much, you're in cover, but the medium heavy is to get that hook in a buzzbait. And you ever look at a buzzbait hook? It's a freaking substantial hook. A spinnerbait hook, that's a substantial hook. You got to get some meat into them suckers, and then it's usually around a tree or back up underneath a bush or, edge of grass, clumps of grass or whatever. And this is when the foliage is at its, thickest. This is when the grass is at its thickest and nastiest. So you gotta be horsepowered up a little bit. But a good stiff medium, fast taper, medium action, fast taper for the top water and stuff that we throw. If it's open water, we're throwing a whopper plopper and a walking bait.
If we're going hard cover, then we're also going to have a square bill.
Yeah. If you get to that where there's not that grass
and it's a hard cover deal.
Yeah, and if you're doing lay downs in rocky banks, hell yeah.
Now we'll say this: if you happen to run into us, couple things. First of all, say hi. If you see us on the river, we're in a jet boat. You can't miss us. You can usually hear us long before you see us. We got a 20-foot jet boat with power poles. You can't miss us. Come on over and say hi. Don't laugh when you see the rods. Because when I say that we are pretty much turning over every stone, I'm not exaggerating. There's 30 rods. That's the number. If you run into us somewhere, anywhere from the Canadian line down to here on a big water and we're in the Skeeter, come on over, say hi. You'll recognize the Skeeter. It's got a very impressive mud line on it.
It sure does.
You could probably grow corn on it. And You'll see a lot of rods there too. You might even notice the rods sticking up in very unorganized directions, because when the work is getting done,
Yeah. They're
yeah.
everywhere.
And
September is that time, Nick, where if you look at somebody's boat, they have these wings growing out the side of it, right? They've got like these really cool wings of all these rods that are just hanging out from the side of it. That is September fishing.
You're in the lab. You're in the lab.
It's dialing in September, it takes a lot.
But when you do get dialed in,
Yeah. But
okay.
Here's the problem. Saturday you go out, you're fishing, and you go through this whole scenario, and you get dialed in on something. Sunday you go back out, and you're like, "What in the hell is going on here? I just whacked him here yesterday,
0 to 0.
Yeah, you catch one fish, and you're like, "All right, baby, they're still here," and that's it. And you're like, "What in the world is going on here?" That pretty much sums up September. I mean, it is the most frustrating freaking time of the year,
but fun.
And one last thing, and this is for the scopers. I know not everybody on here is scopers, but for the scopers, this is your time to really, really shine, really find your thing. But I'm telling you, you're going to have to spend some time finding the bait, and you're going to have to spend some time going around until you find them. And then when you find them, you're going to have a heyday, because they are starting to school up really well. And when you do find them, you're going to pick them off pretty good. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to be eating,
and I like that,
chewing.
But what you said there segues me into a question I have for you guys. They are starting to school. If you're on a body of water that's known for shad,
yeah,
they're starting to school.
Yeah, they are.
They are starting to school. They are wolf packing up with the sole intent of eating every shad in the lake.
Yeah.
So with that being said, and with the September, shall we say, time frame being established, the in-between time, the challenging time, we all have a sneaky bait, a little something that we are very confident in that solves an aggravation that these fish are putting upon us. Now, we have more than one, and I would like to know from each one of you guys, just one of your sneaky baits.
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
Because I'm going at a different angle than you guys. Want
to bet?
I'm going to be the forward-facing guy.
Okay.
And I'm going to send a jerk shed.
Okay.
It's you're going to have to find the fish. You're going to have to spend some time finding the fish. And honestly, you'd be better off spending more time finding the fish, because you're then going to catch more fish.
Yeah.
But that sending jerk shot's hard to beat.
100%. That is and plus you can get it in 6 sizes.
Yeah, you got everything covered. And you know what? I'm glad you just said that, George, because what I found out the most, you're doing yourself a disservice if you have one size tied on your rod.
Doesn't work.
You need to have a couple that are different weights, different sizes, because if they're not eating one, or they're following it and not taking it, they're telling you something.
Mike and I carry one of those little Spro bags, and the only thing in it is scented jerk shads. Right. Well, I shouldn't say that. There's some Z2s in there too, and baby Z2s, which are essentially scented jerk shads.
Yeah, but good stuff. I just wanted to go from that angle.
Yeah.
Well, we got a couple interesting chime-ins on the sneaky bait before we get to Mike.
Yeah.
We have Andre Albanaz, who is a great friend of the shop. Matter of fact, Andre was...
Oh, wait. Yeah, hang on, Andre.
Andre was kind enough to take one of our SFT hats and get it all signed up for us.
The hat did that, Andre. Listen.
I see James Elam.
Look how freaking cool this is for him to go down there. And then the cool thing about it is on one of the I think it's one of the MLF videos is him getting the hat signed by one of the competitors on the final day. And I don't know who that was, Andre, but Andre went around, took the time. He lives close by there, and he of course went to the tournament all the days. And this is, I think, the cut guys, all the cut guys right there. But how freaking cool is that? I mean, you can read some of them. You can read some of them.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. So Andre, thank you, buddy. We appreciate it. It's
Good
setting
stuff.
It's setting right over here, Andre, over top of our counter. Everybody can see it, and that is really cool. And we appreciate you, brother. Oh, Alton Jones. Yeah, that was Alton Jones. He was talking to Alton Jones Jr. and he was signing the hat. And there's a video out there on the left of it. It's pretty cool.
George, Alton Jones Jr. knows a little bit about G-Crack.
Oh, he knows a lot about G-Crack.
That's right.
Yeah.
He also knows about taking off a lower unit. You see that?
So we also have Craig Brennan kicking in. His sneaky little bait is an underspin.
That's cool.
LP Bass sneaky little bait is a 3.3 Kitech on a guppy head.
Ah.
How about you, Mike? What's your sneaky little bait?
Yeah,
You're just not a sneaky guy.
I'm not a sneaky guy, man. I just put the spinnerbait on and I grind it. You
That's
know,
real sneaky.
I'm just a spinnerbait guy.
You're a ham and egger.
Yeah, I love the spinnerbait this time of year, and
You have a sneaky color?
yeah, I mean, I'm white, man.
Sorry, we had Mike on the show tonight, guys.
I throw a white spinnerbait with the
Now,
gold,
have you ever thrown
a
a white
golden
and chartreuse?
like a gold and silver. You know, that's my jam.
Have you ever thrown a white and chartreuse spinnerbait?
No, I mean that's how simple it can be, Nick. Honestly, that's really how simple it can be. But you know, if you look at our boat, you know, it's got a railing over top of the center console, and you fish with us. How many spinnerbaits are on there?
Too many.
There's a lot.
There's a lot
There's
on
at
there.
least 40 or 45
And can
spinnerbaits.
each one of them tell a story?
Yeah, they're all the ones that we go to. You know, it's the spot remover, it's the gold shiner, it's the chartreuse and white, it's the all chartreuse, it's the chartreuse with the chartreuse blades, the UFO, it's the green pumpkin, custom green pumpkin Susquehanna. You know, so I do throw a lot of different ones, but
real sneaky.
But honestly, it can be as simple as a white spinnerbait because they're chewing on shad. They're eating shad right now. I mean, it's funny how they key in on shad so much, but they puke up freaking crayfish in your live well. It's the craziest damn thing in the world. These fish are busting on shad, and you're setting the hook, and you're reeling them in, you're throwing them in your thing, and then when you get home, there's like 10 dead crayfish in there. It's just like they're constantly eating them too. So
Pizza and wings.
yeah, but you know, so it can be that simple. But let's talk about that again. The deep dive would be that's why you have 40 different spinnerbaits. If you're the deep dive guy and you have 3.5 and 4s, a 4 and a 4.5, you know, silver and gold, gold and silver, chartreuse and white blades, chartreuse blades, all white blades. You know, you can come up with a jillion combinations pretty quick. And that's a deep dive guy. So call it white spinnerbait, silver blade on the bottom, gold on top. I'm just going to say that.
That's pretty sneaky.
Sneaky.
So my sneaky bait for September, that stays tied up until December, is a spy bait. And I'm here to tell you guys, and don't worry, we're going to do a complete breakdown of spy bait fishing because I, for one, love it. But my sneaky bait is the Duo Realis Spin Bait 80, to be very, very specific. I'm just telling you that particular spy bait is, and I throw it on a spinning rod with 8-pound line. And if you have fish that are looking up, which most of them are this time of the year, and you have fish that are beginning to school at all, the spy bait with its subtle nature
Eat it.
is like low-hanging fruit. And what I've learned about it is when I pull into an area that I feel has my potential, it's right? if I'm going to catch them on that spy bait, it's going to be on the first dozen or so casts. I feel like that bait has demonstrated time and time again that it will catch a small number of fish out of an area or a school, but it'll catch some of the biggest. So when they are actually schooling, and I have schools located, my first and my last casts on that school are with a spy bait. And then as I rotate around and around and around, I repeat that procedure. So from now on out, there's a spinning rod laying there with a spy bait tied on.
That's a great choice, George.
It's really a good bait.
Underrated.
It's really a good bait.
A lot of people throw it and don't like to talk about it because
it's really, really good.
Bait. Yeah.
You know, we can,
and it's simply a slow, steady retrieve.
You can say anything you want about it, anything but a spy bait. You know, it's so subtle that, I mean, they eat it. They eat it. And when it's goofy freaking crap that's going on in September, that's a great choice. And I think this year that little darter that George showed, that live darter, I'm telling you, when they come up and they're just pecking at stuff, and Nick's out there, he's out there, you know, with his live scope, and he's flicking along, and they're biting the tail, and he's setting the hook and it's pulling his skirt down. And he's like, son of a gun. He goes smaller, and then he can change his colors and does all this. You walk up with a spy bait and you walk up with one of these little darters. I think that darter is going to catch him. And I know that spy bait will catch him. When they're finicky and pecking at it and hitting it, and you set the hook and you have them on for a second, they come off, you know, it's a good fish. It comes off right away. They're finicky fish, man. They're real picky. And,
I'm glad George said that bait because that's an underrated bait.
Underrated.
Way
underrated.
Wait till we do a show on it. And, you know, it's just a great bait.
It's money. It's money.
You know
We're going to talk about the spy bait in great depth in the near future.
Yeah.
One thing you said about that bait, though, George, is you said reel it slow. Most people that don't catch fish on it, they overpower it.
Yeah.
They don't even realize it.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, they do.
Slow and steady.
Like painfully slow. A lot of guys won't throw it because it's so painful to fish. It really is.
Slow and steady. I have some when we do the spy bait segment, I have two awesome stories to tell. One involving Pete Gluzik, the Dean, which to this day has me just rolling.
Yak and River Rat. How about this? Oakshire screwhead with a little little paddle tail. I mean, come on.
Hell yes.
I mean, we could go on and on and on, you know.
The spark shad, to be specific.
Yeah, the spark shad. How about a rattle trap this time of year? I mean, come on.
And you can upsize too a little bit.
Oh yeah.
That.
Yeah. So you could go on and on and on with it. And but that's why I say, Nick, when you're looking at somebody from ahead and you look at our boat anyway, it looks like a really cool, like F-18 fighter with special little danglers for whatever, you know, little bombs hanging off the danglers, because that's the way our boats are, man. We got rods freaking laying everywhere. We start out with a nice clean boat, which I don't even want. I cleaned that boat for 3 hours the other day, and I did it. I want to tell everybody watching that I cleaned the entire boat, put all the loose lures away into the boxes, and organized the boxes and organized the tackle system. And at the end of the day, on Sunday, when we came off the water, it looked like I didn't do a damn thing.
All right. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
I got to ask George a question now. Mike goes and he cleans it all up. He organizes it. Do you trust that?
Well, the problem is he makes it sound like it was this great Herculean effort.
It was 3 hours, bro.
First of all, he was sitting in that boat in my garage. I was sitting in the other boat in my garage.
He was working on that boat.
We were preparing both boats
for
the next two tournament weekends.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah. But I'm just saying it was a huge effort. And we're out fishing. We're out fishing, and George
did a great job.
And George is like, we're out fishing. He's like, hey, where's those swim jigs? I need that finesse swim jig, you know, or no, it wasn't a swim jig. It was a finesse. We got on this finesse jig bite, and he figured it out. And he's like, well, we got, where's those jigs at? I'm like, well, they're in a boat. I put him away. There's a whole pile.
I brought my own jig box just
there's a whole pile of
contingency plan.
So he's going through jigs, right? And he's like, I know there's just these green pumpkin ones, and I said, yeah, they're in the boat here. And about 2 hours towards the end of the tournament, I'm in there digging in this hatch, and I had them in a beautiful pouch,
bag,
a beautiful pouch,
mega bass bag,
all kinds of jigs in there, all laid in there, nice, all zippered, and they're all finesse jigs, every single one of them, all in this bag, beautiful. I knew I did something with them, but I didn't know where the hell I put them.
Well, that's why I asked that question to George, because I get this picture of George going, you know what, man, he did a hell of a job cleaning that boat, but I ain't gonna find nothing.
No, everything else is well done.
Yeah,
awesome.
If it was a mega bass jerkbait, it went into mega bass.
The finesse jig situation was not good.
But by the end of the day, it's like, oh, we need to go back to the drawing board again.
Well, we fixed that problem.
We freaking filleted that boat, man. I'm telling you, we had pieces of trailers. The damn fish would bite a hold of it, and you set the hook, and he'd rip all your legs off. Yeah, so we
caught a ton.
Yeah, but how many fish did that to us? A shit ton.
Yeah.
It was in the grass. And they were hitting it right when it would go right in. Boom, they'd grab it right away, and you would, boom, set the hook, and it just didn't have it right. But anyway, so there's dead shoulders all over the boat. There's these lures all over the place. Until we figured out what we wanted to do.
Yak and River Rat caught him on the Duo Realis this week on the St. Lawrence. Henry Churchill asks, "What's the color?"
I'm a Wagasaki guy.
I'm a Komochi Wagasaki guy.
Yeah, that's what it is. Komochi.
White belly.
Yeah, white belly.
But
that's what
we're going to do a deep dive on the spy bait game in about 2 weeks, because next week, mark your calendars.
Yes. And for all you guys hanging in here, this is so cool.
Get your day planners out.
Yeah.
Bust open your personal devices, set markers, call into work, take off work, tell the wife you're busy. Next week, we have Rookie of the Year of the Elite Series, Tucker Smith, a regular on Tackle Shop Live. Yep. This will be his third appearance.
Every time
by
he
my
has
count,
a milestone.
he's about $1.2 million in since we've started having him on the show, which is about 1.1 million more than either of us have made in that time frame. So we cannot wait to talk to Tucker. He is one of these young guns.
Great
that
guy.
Is an absolute. It's absolutely refreshing to talk to this young man.
And this time we're really going to dive deep in with him. What is the mindset? That's what I want to know. How do you figure him out every single time like that? And the kid's great. I call him the kid, but I mean, that guy is just great. And he's a great guy to talk to. So next week, Thursday night, Tucker Smith on the show. We'll pick his brain. It's going to be a great show.
Yeah, sign up early because we're going to bring him in early as out of respect for his time. We're going to bring him in at about 7:30, and we're going to run him for about 45 minutes in case he's listening.
2 hours. 45 turns into 2 hours.
He's going to think he's pre-fishing.
Yeah.
But that's next week. We're really excited for that.
Very excited.
And then the following week is going to be Spy Bait. And then we have 2 more big-time guests for you. We're going to try to space them out every other week through September. Mike McClelland will be joining the show.
Yep.
And who else did I tell you was joining the show? Bridget. Bridget's joining the show.
Oh, Bridget.
Yep. So we will be keeping you informed on that. So there you go.
Beautiful.
Plus, next week will be week number 2 of Rig of the Week. Rig of the Week. Rig of the Week. I got you.
Hey,
Rig of the Week.
We expect it every time, George.
Rig of the Week.
Sorry, Dan Patrick. I may have just stole your song.
Yeah. Well, we're going to check it all out. But right now, we got to roll. We've been running along here. This is We have a great sale tomorrow and Saturday. Make sure you guys come here and at least say hi. Stop in for some of the great, awesome specials that we got going on
Online.
And then online Sunday and Monday for you guys that can't make it here. 15% off everything, most everything, and you can take advantage of some great pricing. Until next Thursday, we will catch you on the next Tackle Shop Live. Oh, we didn't rate the beer. Sunshine Pills, Paul. Woo!
The next day you called me up. You told me I'm your little buttercup. You came over and you fell into my arms. Well, I know what I feel. Please tell me your love is real.